we're going to have to move on from Sunderland onto something very different. Should the government bail out pubs? Give us a call, 0207 862 2222. We'll speak to you in just a moment. Okay, so we've got the front of the Daily Mirror here. This is your paper, Kevin. There we go. Pubs call time at 8 p.m. The Mirror investigation has found that some pubs are actually closing at 8 p.m. now, no longer selling food and shutting altogether on the quietest days in order to save money on staff and energy costs. And now landlords are pleading for help to stay afloat. So is it time actually that the government needs to step in and save the great British institution? Kevin?
Yes.
I
think we'll regret it if they go. And I understand if people have got cafes and they're struggling, they'll say they want to be supported too. But look,
hold on, we've just said we need to spend money on teaching parents how to potty train their children, and now we're going to save money on... How much money does the government have?
You know, investing in potty training kids it's an investment. That's how that has got to be seen. And actually, pubs generate money in the economy.
Okay.
They have local jobs. They get cash moving. If they shut, a little bit of a community dies, and those people who use them to get out of the house and go meet people, they become isolated. And I can see there is a problem, and I agree. There is how much can you spend, but sometimes you spend to invest. And it costs you more not to spend in the long run.
Do you think this would be a good investment, Lynn?
I don't like the idea of actually having to give them a set amount of money to keep them afloat, because if we were to keep on doing this, we just don't have the finances. But I will say I do feel sorry for pubs, because on the high street's dying. And the problem with pubs is they can't go online. I was thinking about creative ways of, 6 pints and 4 pies for delivery, something. Yeah. But the reality is we're seeing less people go out drinking. So I think pubs need to have accountability of trying to get punters back in. But like you said, they have been the bedrock of communities. Yeah. People that are lonely, they come to pubs.
Are they still the bedrock of communities?
Well, less so in some areas.
Communities are dying altogether. That's the problem.
Yeah, quite clearly. And we don't want everyone just stuck in their houses on their own. That's where you get problems. I'm sure that's part of the potty training problem with parents and not mixing with others. But it's not about sending them a cheque. It's about taking less
tax
money
breaks,
from them.
maybe, tax
whether
breaks.
it's VAT, business rates, excise duties. Why do we have the same excise duty across the board? Couldn't you have a higher excise duty on booze sold in supermarkets than you would say sold in pubs?
Pubs do say that would actually help. We've got a former pub landlord on the line, also Lynn's uncle. This is Uncle John on the phone. Thank you very much for joining us, John. So you used to own a pub. Why do you not own one anymore?
Well, actually, we do own them, but we've leased them out because of the crisis. For that very, very reason, we would have carried on running them, but we're due to make an investment. We've already made a very large investment in opening up another licensed premises, but we're going to hold off on actually opening it at least for 18 months because of the crisis there is in the licensed industry.
Okay, so there's serious issues in pubs and with people that own pubs. What's the solution then, John? What could the government do to really help you?
Well, the government could do something that actually happened after the 2008 crisis when Gordon Brown was the Chancellor. He reduced VAT throughout the country to 15%. Now, I also own a hospitality business in Spain. Now, in Spain, general VAT is 21%. VAT for hospitality industry is 10%. And it's the same in France. And that could do even down to a 5% reduction would make a huge difference, because then it would stop all this nonsense about what, supermarkets sell their alcohol as loss leader products and so on. And people, as Lin Mei correctly says, they stay at home now because it's so much cheaper to drink. But then comes in all the loneliness, unregulated drinking, and so on and so forth. And if you think that pubs are really the lounge of the country, that's where people meet, that's where people dated, that's where people went and bumped into others and so on, and a place, reduction of loneliness, etc. So what the government could really do is carry on its assistance with rates for public houses, and also reduce the VAT to hospitality in general, and that would help
John,
all hospitality industries.
Is there I mean, you've been through sort of, I hate to use this word, unprecedented times, but we have just been through COVID. That was terrible. All the pubs were shut down. You were made to have extra expense in terms of all these plastic things put up and less tables and chairs, and then, Eat Out to Help Out was aimed to try and help you, and then we had cost of living. I mean, it has been a really turbulent, horrible time for the whole of the hospitality industry, but particularly pubs. However, the younger generation, John, not that interested in drinking, not that interested in pubs. And so is there a risk here that what the government could be doing is trying to save really a failing industry?
I don't think so, because now pubs are also places where that eat. In our establishments, we used to have students coming in, we used to have all sorts of people coming, to youngsters and so on, because it's no longer, you cannot just go on as being a wet-led pub. You have to provide a decent food option as well. And there's lots of pubs that do produce that mix of a good food option, reasonable prices, and youngsters will come to that. But when there's so much against pubs in terms of energy costs, labour costs, rates which are no longer going to be supported, and very high VAT, when you buy a supermarket ready meal, there's no VAT on that. But if we make a meal, there's VAT on that. It's wholly unfair. And rates, for instance, if you do square footage in supermarkets, they're a tenth of what pubs pay. Now, people will come out if there's a reasonable offer. They don't come out because they can buy ready meals with no VAT on it, drink at home, drink subsidised, lost leader alcohol from supermarkets. So they're going to stay.
Interesting, John. I hear you, and you're almost convincing me here. It might just be that you're a friend of the panel, but thank you for your call, Uncle John.
I can see that talking the legs of hind legs of a donkey
is
in your
inherited.
family.
Yeah.
We all like a good chat.
Thank you so much for your call. We're going to go to Tim from Merseyside now. Well, John's kind of convinced me. We need the pubs to stick around, so we need to reduce the VAT, make drink cheaper in the pub and more expensive in the supermarket.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm here.
What's your
Hello
thoughts?
there. Well, my thought is that, pubs aren't local services, they are businesses.
Yeah.
And if they can't support themselves as businesses, then they will close down.
Yeah, but they will close down, unlikely to open again. So we may have a scenario, Tim, where everybody's drinking at home with nobody seeing how much they're drinking. Instead of being out socialising, we'll have an epidemic of loneliness and alcoholism.
Well, I'm drinking at home and I'm loving it.
By yourself?
I don't need a pub to go to.
Tim, are you alone drinking? All alone?
Yeah, all alone on my own. I'm loving it.
Yeah, Tim, I suppose sometimes that can be fun. I think long term that can get very, very sad quite quickly.
Well, no, I'm 62 and I'm still happy about drinking on my own.
Okay. Okay, Tim, I don't know what to say to you other than I think we do want to get people back socialising, though, don't we, Tim? We want society back. We're losing it.
Well, we do indeed. So it doesn't mean we need to go to pubs. So how are people going to each other's houses where they drink together, paying about a third of the price they will pay in the pub if they get it from a shop?
Tim, you're right. They are businesses and they have to survive and they have to diversify and they have to get them out. But governments come up with lots of incentives and help for other businesses. So why not for pubs?
But Tim, it's good to know that you like your own company. Thank you very much for your call. Alexis is now here.